a quick lesson where I am going to show you how answer planning should work or how you should plan your answers. Because in our yesterday lesson, I was clear to point out the need to plan, and in your corrected answers for everyone, I have been very outspoken about my views, and I have told you how you can possibly end up writing a better answer. So I want to show that to you and help you transition into writing a better answer. And as you move to a weekend where you're going to be writing more questions, I want to see improvements. So obviously I want to help you develop that skill and develop that answer writing, just the skill which I really want to bring to the fore, and which I majorly want to make sure that you have a good understanding of. So on my screen right now, on the right hand side, you will see the question which you have already solved, question 6. And on the left hand side, you're going to see an empty paper, like an empty Word document, an empty page. This is where we are going to spend time planning the answer. So can you guys see my screen? Can you guys see the question and the Word document on the left? Everyone, if you can give me a yes. Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do now is I will read the question and see how I'm breaking down the question, see how I'm planning my question, and don't stop me in the middle. Once I've done with my planning, I'll open up for questions and you can come up with your questions. While I'm planning, just absorb the method, look at the method, see what I'm doing, see, and just take it all in. After on, when I open it up for questions, make sure you've written or you keep them in your mind, so that when I ask you if you have any questions, just let me know. That way I'll be able to solve them. So quickly looking at the question now. Sorry, I'm starting to read the question now. So first and foremost, after a couple of weeks, a new software has been completed. You have just received the following email from Shireen Peros. Shireen Peros is my finance director. So finance director, now when I'm reading the question, I'm talking to myself. Okay, I'm talking to myself, I'm helping myself understand the question. So that is something that you can pick up on as well. So from Shireen Paras to the finance manager, the subject is innovative client mapping strategy. So I've just had a meeting with the board to assess how we build on our successful delivery of the initial phase of the client mapping strategy. Some of the board members believe that the delivery of the new client mapping strategy is necessary change of strategic direction for KCTP. As the revenue growth of our business continues to develop and competition increases in the science and technology park industry. So from the very onset, I am seeing a theme. Look at the left hand side. I'm writing down the theme. So let's say just point one, point A is a new client mapping strategy is the theme. I'll keep this in mind and I move on, not wasting too much time. However, our CEO is concerned that this will require significant investment and that the patience of some of our venture capitalist lenders may be tested. Should we not continue to show a profit? So, second theme is this is something new that we are doing. VCs might not be happy if we don't show profit. All right, second theme captured. I'm going on. Client mapping program will help us develop an integrated system where we will have all the information of our current clients and the nature of work. So again, one more theme, information about clients will get to know in detail. Let me move on. This will help us service them better and come up with new facilities that we can offer to make their experience with us better. This will also help us market and attract new clients, as we will have a better understanding of client needs. So again, on the left hand side, better understanding of client needs. Then, the BOD stated that KCTP could gain considerable experience and competencies in data storing from the management of the new client mapping program. They believe that we should now be focusing on developing on how we use this data. So big data analysis is being considered. Again, I'm big data analysis considered. Next, notes from the meeting are attached to this email. I need you to provide me with some briefing notes that I can take to the next board meeting, which consider the following. So here is where my tasks are beginning. So I'll write the heading tasks. Out of that, I have identified that the first task clearly mentioned over here is what is the strategic driving and restraining forces for KCTP to begin delivering the mapping program to further enhance its client relationship. So they're asking me driving forces and restraining forces of this new mapping program. So I'll write this down very clearly: driving forces and restraining forces for this new mapping program. And this is worth 40% of the marks, right? So 40 upon 100 into 33, it's 13 marks. I'll write down 13 marks equals to 5 to 6 detailed points. That is my first task. I'm then writing the second task down. Now, what would be the likely reaction of venture capitalists if we continue to not show a growing profit for the next few years? So, not, let's say, reaction of VCs if we don't show profit, or let's say, don't show growing profit. And this, I think they have mentioned 20% of the marks. So 20 upon 100 into 33 gives me roughly 6 marks, right? So I will again write down over here 6 marks equals to 2 to 3 detailed points. Third task, there is also third task here. How could KCTP use big data analysis as a strategic resource? So how can I use big data for strategy formulation slash as a resource? That's what the question is. Again, I will see it's 20% of the marks. So sorry, did I write 4 marks here? It's supposed to be 6 marks, and again 6 marks here. And as always, 6 marks. So I will need 2 to 3 detailed points. After that, what are the risks we may face in collecting and analyzing the data we obtain about our clients? So risks in collecting and analyzing data. Again, this is 20% of the marks. So 6 marks is equal to 2 to 3 detailed points. So my job is done here. As you can see, I have broken down the question, and then there is a reference material which I'm supposed to read. And in the reference material, they have just made sure that the 4 tasks are mentioned as 4 question marks. So they have said driving forces, restraining forces. That is my first task. Risks with collecting data. That is my fourth task. Make use of big data analytics. That's my third task. And impact on VCs not showing a profit is my second task. So I can clearly see that this mapping program has 4 questions that they are going to ask me, and that is clearly seen in the tasks. Let me continue reading. There is this box. So about the big data program, they've told me that a wide range of activity and delivery related data will be collected. Personal data will be collected, social media data will be collected, and then we will be analyzing this data. So just giving me a little bit more on what the mapping strategy is. So this is how I break down the question in your exam. And when you are doing my model answer as well, you have a white page right there. So the first time where you read the question, why don't we break it down this way? Similarly, in the exam, you will also have a white sheet where you are going to submit your answer. Plus, you will also have an online whiteboard, which is like a rough sheet where you can make all of these plans. And if you see, I started the class at 9:30 and it's only 9:40 now. Out of which the first minute or so was just, introduction. So 9 minutes. It just took me 9 minutes to clearly write down the requirement of the question. Now I don't even need to read the question again because the entire question's theme has been mentioned in these 5 points here, the 5 points above. And after that, I have written the tasks as well. I have written what they've asked for me. So I don't even need to look at the question. And this I did in 10 minutes. Let's say it took me 10 minutes. Okay. I still have clearly mentioned to everybody that out of the 60 minutes, take 15 minutes for planning. So you saw that it took me 10 minutes to break everything down, correct? I still have 5 minutes remaining with me. So what will I do in those 5 minutes? I will further go on and think about points. So I have 5 minutes more to plan, right? So let me think about the driving and the restraining forces. What can be the driving force? Let's say new strategic information, whatever. I'm just bringing points that are at the top of my mind. So new strategic information and new revenue resource. Same way, restraining forces is risk, cost may be more than benefit. So these are just points that are coming to my mind. And what I'm doing is in my extra 5 minutes that I have remaining, I am listing down the points in my rough sheet only. As soon as I see that 45 minutes are what I have remaining, 15 minutes are done, 45 minutes is what I am remaining. That is when I stop my planning and point writing wherever I am, and I will start with writing the answer. So, to, subject, and heading, everything you start after the first 15 minutes are up. And I have also been very clear about writing speed. I have told you very many times that you should be having a 50 words per minute typing speed minimum. So just imagine, 50, out of 60 minutes, 15 minutes you are planning where you have a clear idea of the question. You have 45 minutes remaining. If you have 45 minutes remaining and your speed is 50 words per minute, 45 into 50, you end up writing a 2200 word answer, which is more than 2 pages on a normal word file. And there is absolutely no reason why you cannot do it, because as you can see, any question, let's say this question, maybe maybe it's a little bit easy question, but any question, I am sure that if you give it good 10 minutes of reading, good 5 minutes of planning, like I did over here, I write down everything, no keeping in mind, because my mind has so much going on, I'll forget or I'll go the wrong way. So put it down in front of you so that you are looking at the task again and again, so that you are looking at the major thing that they've asked you again and again, and that is what you will give them. Because sometimes you know that you have to give driving and restraining forces, but you'll still go down the wrong path, but you'll still start writing something else in the flow of scheme. So just remember that the task is clearly present in front of you. You have written it down by yourself. So there is no way now that I can go wrong in my answer writing, because everything I have clearly mentioned. I have clearly written it in my tasks. I have clearly written the theme of the question in these 5 points. So see how I break it down. No matter any question, the most difficult question on earth, according to you, even if it comes up, this is what you do. Spend time planning, break it down, make it easy. But let's consider that out of these 4 parts, you don't know part 4. For some reason, you don't know part, or let's say, sorry, let me say you don't know part 2. Driving forces, restraining forces, you know everything about, you have ready points in your mind. Big data, you know everything about, you have everything in your mind. Risks in collecting and analyzing data, you know everything, you have in your mind ready. But let's say you don't know what to write for reaction of VCs. There is one part of the question that you don't know. But does that mean that I don't know part 2? So I will not give them a very well written part 1, part 3, and part 4? No, your answer has to be best of your abilities to what they've asked. So what I will do is part 1 is worth 40% of the marks, right? So I will write that in all its details. Exactly these 5 to 6, 7 points, whatever they have asked, I will give them. Fine. Then I will move to reaction of VCs. We never ever leave anything, even if you don't know it. Put down the heading, and over here they've asked you 2 to 3 points. I am sure with your business skill, with any experience, any ability that you have, you will be able to come up with 2 relevant points. So we don't leave it. Put the heading as reaction of VCs if we don't continue to show a profit, and put your head down and make sure you write those 2 points. Nothing can be left. Dig deep, think of all the experiences that you've had, and come up with the most relevant answer and finish those 2 points. If they've asked you 5 points and if you only know two, fine, just write down those two. Then move on to the next part, which is big data. You know everything. Risks of collecting data, you know everything. So finish what you know, then come back and write those extra 1 or 2 or 3 points that you left for part 2 if 5 points were asked. So even if, let's say, altogether you left out part 2, you didn't have time to do it. Part 1 is 40%, part 3 is 20%, and part 4 is 20%. So even if you did a good job there, you did 80% of the answer, which will be enough to pass if you've done an excellent job. So please note, whatever you do, do with quality. Otherwise, don't do it. Even if you're writing an answer with me, write it with commitment, write it exactly like the exam, and break it down like this, because then time will become your friend. People submit 3 points to me, 4 points to me. So tell me, if I give you 45 minutes to type, and you have everything laid out in front of you, where you know what you're supposed to do, where you know what you're supposed to follow, can we come up with 4 and 5, 6 points for a complete answer? No. I need to see details, and it is possible to give details, and that is what this exam is about. Because it's possible, it's an exam, and that is why they have set it this way. Because in 45 minutes you will be able to answer what is asked. So make sure that the first 15 minutes you're not in a hurry to start writing. Because if you don't plan, if you don't understand the theme of the question, how will we go ahead and give them what they want? So spend 15 minutes. At the dot of the 15th minute getting over, start writing. Until that time, you only will read, you only will plan, you only will make sure you mention your points. When you are writing your answers for me, the same place where you are submitting your answers, before you start, use it as a rough sheet. Write down all your points there, and then leave a space and start writing. Before you submit, just delete your points. Even if you don't delete it, I will understand that okay, this person is just planned, and just say starting my answer here, start the heading, and start writing from there. But make it a clear attempt from your end to write it this way, to break down the question this way. So you will have ample time to finish the question. There is absolutely no way that you can't finish the question in the given 45 minutes. Yes, last part, instead of 6 points, you end up writing 1 point, or not 1 point, sorry, you end up writing 4 points or 3 points. I understand that. But from the beginning, if you don't give me the details, then what's the point? The first part is 40% of the mark. So I need to see 5 to 6 points minimum. So I'll see three driving forces, three restraining forces. I write the point, explain the point, write the point, explain the point, do it in your own way. Same way I give the second heading, I give the details, give the third heading, I give the details, give the fourth heading, I write down. Let's say they've asked me 3 points. I only am able to write 1 point, but I'm still confident that the parts above I have done justice, because everything that they asked me, I gave them. If you break down the question this way, you cannot go wrong. Now I am opening up for questions. Did you guys understand what I said? Give me a yes in the chat box if this method is something that you're understanding. So next time when you write a question, make sure that you break it down this way. The first time maybe you'll spend some more time planning, or maybe you'll realize that okay, I need this method is working for me, it's not working for me. It might not work. Let's say your writing speed is slow, you can't give 15 minutes to planning, but give 10 minutes, give 12 minutes, because planning is vital. Write 1 point less, write 2 points less at the end, but from the beginning plan very well, so that you understand the requirement of the question. Write it down this way so you cannot go wrong with the requirement. The same words that are used in the task, break it down in that same way so that you do not go wrong. What some of my students do is exactly word to word, they copy the task in their planning part so that they're not missing one single word, and they read what has been given. I like to write it in my own words, like I did over here. If you feel you don't want to write it in your own words, exactly copy paste the task. So whatever is the first task, copy it and put it in your planning part. So that's what you're reading, and on that basis you will plan. So make your own method. This is my method that I'm giving to you. Use it. See if it works for you. You can make your own changes. You can make your own adjustments to it. But if you follow this method, then you will identify that okay, this is an area where I'm making a fault, this is where I'm making a problem, and then you can tell me that area and we'll help you work on it, or you yourself can develop a method to work on it. But completing your answers is vital. If you leave any part of the answer, you're automatically forgiving marks. So we cannot leave anything. You know it, you don't know it, doesn't matter. You will still write the heading, and you will still dig in to all your experience, to all your company knowledge, to all the answer writing mistakes that you've made, and make sure that you finish those points that they have asked for. Do your best, put your best foot forward, and then we'll see. Because obviously I'm here to help you correct. The more you practice with me, the more mistakes you make with me, the less mistakes you'll make in your final exam. And that is why we are here. So any marking that you see from me where you are not able to pass the answer, or something that I write which is to tell you to go through something, or tell you that I'm not happy, that is for your good, so that you don't repeat that mistake again. And even if you repeat it, you repeat it in my mocks, not in the final exam. So that is where we are learning. Going forward, use more time to plan. So whatever you write, out of the 4 parts, even if you write 3 parts, those 3 parts will be quality. Those 3 parts will be very well written, and that will be good to help you pass the exam in certain stages, in certain cases. Is everyone with me? Do we have any questions? If we have no questions, just give me a no in the chat box. Okay. So I receive a no from everybody, meaning I understand that, or I take the assumption that you have understood what I want what I want from you, what I want you to do when you break down the questions. As you know, a very well detailed timetable has been already sent to you. Over the weekend, you're going to be solving 2 sets, set 5 and set 6, which are 2 2-hour exams. In those exams, please make sure that you spend time on the corrections first of all for mock 3 and mock 4, so you don't make those mistakes. Then take in mind this answer writing theme that I'm teaching you, and then try it out in mock 5 first, that you do on Saturday. Obviously you will notice that some things are working for you, some things are not working for you. So when you do it in your exam on so when you do another exam on Sunday, make sure that those same mistakes are not made, but do it with 100% commitment. The question is not going to be something which is out of the blue. The question, if you break it down this way, if you cut it down this way, if you plan well, no matter what the question is, you will be able to write something, and you should be able to, and you must submit a complete answer. You don't know the part, fine, write the heading, but still sit there for the entire 60 minutes and complete the answer to the best of your ability. Nothing should be left out, because if you leave anything, you are automatically foregoing marks. Is everyone with me? Give me a yes in the chat box. All right. That is all from me for today's lesson. As you can see, I need 30 minutes to do my job. And in these 30 minutes, I'm very clear, I'm very precise on what I want you to do. Tomorrow morning, you are going to receive the recording of this lesson and the links to the next two mocks that you are going to solve on Saturday and Sunday. You will be following the timetable. So I think tomorrow is the day where you pick up the blueprints and focus on the blueprints. I have not mentioned reading the pre-scene, because the pre-scene has to be read continuously in the background. And please make sure that you go through each and every question that we have done till now. You have done 5 questions till now, I think 4 or 5, whatever, how many ever questions you have done till now. Read the question, read the answer, see where you went wrong, read the suggested answer, have that very fresh in your mind, so you will understand this is what we require. Before you sit your set 6, set 5 and set 6, make sure you have gone through each and every question that we have done till now very, very carefully. Make sure you have read the suggested answers for each and every question that we have done till now very, very carefully, so that set 5 and set 6 is absolute quality. Most importantly, break it down like I did, and you will not make a mistake. So thank you very much, everyone. This is Diwali weekend for everybody. So if you're celebrating Diwali, a very happy Diwali to you in advance. And I will be speaking to you next week once the festivities are done. But I ask you to commit time to this exam, because no matter what festival comes or goes, the exam will come on time. So please make this exam your priority, and we all will do well. So thank you very much, everyone. I will be seeing you soon. Make sure you use the weekend well, follow the timetable, follow the schedule, learn from the mistakes, learn from everything that I said in class, and you will receive the next two links on your email tomorrow morning. Thank you very much, everyone.